Good morning, Parker Posse. How is everybody? It is Wednesday, hump day. Woohoo! It is October 1st. Can you believe it? This year is zooming by. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I cannot believe that it has almost been a year since I started this new journey over here. And it seems like the end of the year always just zooms by like that. Um, I wanted to play a bit of this Navy commander's response to our lovely Chief of War speech yesterday, which I found totally ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I definitely want to talk about it. I am going to post a link to a YouTuber that I watch, content creator, and it was interesting it was just an interesting topic that she was on. And I think it'll go into the link that I posted the other day and ask you guys what you thought. But yeah, there are a couple of things that I would like to just run by y'all, see what you think, just your thoughts on it. But yesterday was, if you were a military member, it was just a sad day. Just a sad day. But it would be great if you went back and watched this whole thing. This is under the Midas Touch. They have really branched out as three brothers, and they started their channel during COVID, just playing around, like I was telling my sisters, because everybody was talking through phone, Zoom, FaceTime, and all that, and they decided to do this, and they have now turned into one of the most watched, the largest platforms on YouTube, and since they've done that, they have expanded out, and they have quite a few different voices on there, and this is just one of them. But this is the intel of his response, and I just wanted to play it. The whole thing was good, but I don't want to play all of somebody else's video, and I was just trying to just hit this part because it kind of struck home. But okay, here we go. You're saying that Daryl's going, if you have adverse incidents in your record, like a DUI or something like that, like you got, y'all are going to forgive it. Just going to wipe it to the side because everyone makes mistakes. No, you made mistakes. The people in that room did not. They had to hold themselves to the highest level of integrity, the highest levels of standards, and you could not meet those standards. You could not even get command of at the company level. It's a goddamn 0304. And those of us who are in the military know what that means. You did not get your Ranger tab, from what I understand. Not special forces, just regular Ranger tab. But you are supposed to be the arbiter of what high standards are. You 3 times a divorce because you cheated on each one of your wives. You, the alleged beater of one of them. You, the DUI person. You, the person that literally ran 2 nonprofits that were supposed to help military people into the ground. You're the one that's delivering that message. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then you have the nerve to question if a person of color or if a woman has earned the right to sit in that damn audience. You think you should be the arbiter of who they are and if they're good enough to be there. When you weren't even good enough to make my rank. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. You have done nothing to unify this military. Everything you're doing, the policies that you've dropped, most out of those 10 are just divisive. And they're targeting people. And they're making people feel like they don't belong. But that's by design. Because you want your American military to look a certain way. I got news for you, brother. DEI was president of the United States military all the way back in 1775. Not because America was enlightened, but because America had no choice. They needed to take all fighters, all who were willing to stand up to the largest and most powerful military in the world when they did so. That was black, that was Asian, that was freaking native, that was women, that was all sorts of types that fought. That is the history. And that includes a gay man who taught the American military, and specifically the Army, how to have discipline. These are facts that you've tried to erase as you've come into the Pentagon, and these are facts despite you trying to shape the future force into something that it will never be.
You need to take an example from the people you tried to lecture today and hopefully live your life more like them. The world will be better off.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content.
Let's take it back. Okay, so like I said, the whole I'm lost for words. The whole video was good that he did. I just wanted to put that on there because he's absolutely right. America has always needed everyone to be able to make their military a strong military. And I think it was really good. Here, I'll show y'all my picture on the wall there. You see I'm taking these down because I'm changing the color in my room. Here is the picture that I'm going to be putting up. So I'm going to be decorating in those colors. And that's something I've got to put on the wall. This is going to go behind the bed up here. I got some hooks coming today. And I changed the comforter to black. I think I'm going to leave this picture. I like it. And that one over there up. Parker. Let me see. What is beeping? Y'all know my dog. Sorry, y'all. Parker got me all. He hates the timer on the microwave, the stove, all the above. Now that I'm down here, I guess I might as well finish my video. Video down here. But as I was saying, I want to play that because, get down, Parker. I'll give you all this to look at. I thought it was interesting, and it makes a valid point of the military being, or our military being a force to reckon with because of the people that made up the military. It's not made up of one race or one gender, but that's what they're trying to go to. For you to stand up in front of all those men and women and of different races, just the knowledge, the time spent in, and the rank that they had, I was appalled at both speeches because one wants to diminish them and have them out here fighting against other Americans, which I can tell you right now, nobody in the military that signed up for that. No one signs up to say, I want to fight my neighbors or go to another state and fight their neighbors and other Americans. No, that's not what you signed up for. And to be brought in from so far for some of them, having jet lag, the waste of money of paying for all of them to come in for one, and the security issue of having all the highest ranking men and women in the military in one freaking spot? Who the hell does that? That wasn't even thought out. And then, because you guys got to be such showboats, if it was something you really wanted to discuss with the highest ranking members of the military, would you really advertise it and put it out there for everybody to see and hear? What they said yesterday could have been done on Zoom. A simple Zoom call. But no, got a showboat, because it's all a show. It's all a show. From the stage being set up like Patton, to the suit with the American flag on the inside of the jacket, to talking about physical fitness. Now this is, help me with this, y'all. You're out here purporting that one of the reasons why there's a shutdown of the government is because the left, the Democrats, and independents want to have males compete with females in athletics. And that's a no. That is an absolute no, right? I have my own thoughts on that. We're not going to get into it. But you stood up on stage yesterday and told the military that for women to be able to stay in certain jobs in the military, they're going to have to compete against men when they take their physical fitness tests. Now, who's the dumbass here? You're going to say that outside the military, males and females should not compete with each other because it's wrong. But in the military, men and women have to compete with each other for the same positions when it comes to physical fitness. Oh, and I can only imagine what the generals and higher ranking commanders was thinking when he gonna tell them they was fat and out of shape, and that everybody from him on down will be taking physical fitness tests twice a year, and everybody is gonna be doing PT every morning. Now, for the Army and Marines, I think they still do it every day, or at least most days. But the Air Force was not, and probably still not. And you took your PT test once a year. So I can only imagine them wanting to get up every morning and do PT. Now, would it be good to have PT back in, because it would have done us good to do PT at least twice a week, maybe 3 times a week, if the workload, allowed it. I'm not sure if he fully understands how all of the military runs. But depending on what's going on, how the planes are flying and all that, you don't have time to do PT in the morning before you go to work. But that's neither here nor there. I just thought that was just disgraceful. And I mean, how do you have these men and women who are at the top of their game come in and hear you talk about some damn physical fitness? Some of them flew from so many different parts of the world, had to wear their dress, blues and greens, to sit there and hear him talk about this. But if that wasn't bad enough, you told at least a fourth, a third of the people in that room that they should not even be there. The men and women of color and women, period. Because you want, I'm just going to say a lily white military. Now, what you're going to find is because of what you're doing, people are tired of it. These men and women are at the top of their game. You think that they probably ain't got enough time in that they can retire or they can do something else? And just like you told them, if they don't want to go along with what you're putting down, they can go ahead and resign. Now, I don't know what you would do if you had half of those people resign. Because the thing is, you can put your knuckleheads in, just like we see you being over the Department of War, but you have absolutely no experience. You standing up there yesterday told us everything that we have been afraid of is that you have no experience and you are not prepared if something comes down where we have to be a part of a major conflict. It frightens me. It really frightens me. So now you're trying to push out people who have experience so that when you fumble, because you will, when you muck it up, because you always do, you won't even have them below you to clean up the crap that you're doing wrong. You're going to have some other inexperienced people that you will promote because they buy into your old boy frat school mentality, which will get a lot of our men and women hurt, to include the United States not being as safe as it could be. I can only imagine what the other countries, when they heard these speeches, was thinking about the United States. And I have to wonder somewhere in the back of my mind, are we put in a place to be vulnerable for a reason? Because it seems like the United States is being tore up from the inside out. This enemy within, they ain't in Portland. They not in Chicago. They not in New Orleans or Tennessee or LA or Maryland. Oh, we got an enemy on the inside tearing us up. But they up there working in the Americas, what do they call it? America's house. They're in D.C., but not the streets of D.C. But they are in D.C. And they are tearing us up agency by agency, city by city, state by state, from the executive branch to the judicial branch to the Supreme Court to Congress and the Senate, and now our military. But if you think the young people that you have in now are going to go along with this, because you forget that the United States is a country of people who have blended together on a lot of different levels. You no longer have a generation of young people who are just of one race. You don't have a generation of young people who think in just one gender or two genders, male and females. So, yeah, get rid of all those. Get rid of the ones that you feel like shouldn't be in, like gay people, LGBTQ. Get rid of the African Americans. Oh, because he took out the shaving waiver, which, that right there, that one thing right there is pinpointed towards African American males. Because of our hair structure, to shave every day for some of them gives them ingrown hairs on their face and makes them have those hair bumps and everything. But now everybody got to be clean shaven. No more beards. So if you think you're going to have a well-run military without the African Americans, the Asians, the Indians, the Hispanics, the Cubans, the Venezuelans, Alaska, Hawaiians, I'm sure I'm missing a whole bunch of different races, but the multitude of people with some tint to them. And then people like me, you see, I got 2 strikes against me. I'm a woman of color. And you don't want either one of them in your military. People, I'm not trying to be a doomsayer, but if you truly are in a relationship with Christ, pray for our United States. Pray that we, as a collective, will stop looking at each other because of our race, our gender, that for the masses, this will be the one thing that really makes the United States united. We know we're going to have some outliners. Yeah, there's people that's going to follow them. But I pray that, and I truly believe this, there are more of us than it is of them. And just like when we had the Civil War, some people are going to realize they erred. They was on the wrong side. And they had to go along with what the masses wanted. All right. Let me get myself prepared to start my day. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And I am going to try to do Wind Down Wednesday today. Maybe for about an hour. His girlfriend worked too many hours yesterday. Look at this foolishness. I'm not finna play. Look at, you see this? Look. Hey. You want to play with a dog, his own bear, and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Not. All right. Me and Parker say we will talk to y'all later. Bye, Parker Posse.